Hello, everybody. Russell Hill, your host for another really exciting episode of WTF, and that is What the Fixed Ops to You. Joined today by
I'm Charity Dunning, the co-host here, and we're really excited. We have Maxine Matamoros, the service manager at Gullo Toyota in Texas. So Maxine, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Hi, I'm Maxine, as you heard. I am the service manager at Gullo Toyota Service Department. I do have a director, obviously service director, but I'm the service manager. Been here for 12 years with the Gullos. I started as an advisor here and got promoted I started in 2011, and then I got promoted in 2016 to manager. So I've been doing it ever since.
You know, I gotta tell everybody, because a lot of times, well, first of all, women in automotive, awesome. Okay. Mm-hmm. Women in automotive that are service managers over a major metropolitan Toyota store in Houston, Texas. That's even a bigger thumbs up, and especially dealing with men.
Yeah, lots of.
But this is the way I remember it, and if it's wrong, please straighten me out. So
sure. When
I started this company, I walked in there, and I hadn't really dealt with her before, but I think I introduced myself and said I'm in the area, and I said, listen, I'd just like about 90 seconds of your time. And if you don't like what you'll either say, sit down, or there's the door, pound sand, or something along those lines. And as I remember it, I even stood while Maxine got behind her desk, and I wanted her to pull up the website. And she said, well, your time's right. And I was, from the time you pull up the website, Maxine. So she pulled it up, and she actually started the clock. She did.
I did.
And so she pulled up a website, my demo site, and I just had her look real quick and then send herself a video coupon, or a coupon back then. Now it's all video coupon.
Yeah.
And it came to her phone, and she liked what she saw. And then I showed her that. And then she basically said, sit down, and she got the fixed ops director. And we've been 3 years.
Correct.
3 years. She has been a client as we've evolved our company. And I got to know, yeah, exactly. And I got to know her really, really well, as I like to do with a lot of our clients. I think, we're real friendly. I know she caught me saying something one time. She said, don't say that. I'm not going to regurgitate what that was. But anyway, or I don't know, maybe Maxine will, sky's the limit here. But we've developed a great relationship over the last few years. And to work with all the advisors and technicians and the stuff that all of you know about that go through the day-to-day, and to be a female on top of that, she's extraordinary. And so I would tell us a little bit, how and when did you actually even get started in this business?
So I'll make a long story short as I can. But so, prior to all of this, I ran a hair salon for 12 years. Okay. 30 women, just outrageous, want to pull your hair out. Anyhow, went on a hiatus. I was 40 years old. Okay. Went on a hiatus. Ran out of money, had to get a job. So took a job as a CSR, customer service rep. And it was through a dealership, third party, windshield repair company. Okay. Wow. Fly by night, if you will. So one day I meet the owner. All right. We met at Honda Cars of Katy. I met the owner. We launched the store. He said, I want you to be manager of all my stores. Okay. There's some in New York, some here, whatever. So anyhow, so then I'm plugging along, and I know the service director at Honda Cars of Katy, great guy. One day I got a phone call, and they said, we're shutting down, Maxine. We're going a different route. What does that mean? You don't have a job anymore, nor call everybody, all the other reps, and tell them they don't have a job. Okay. So I had to let a couple of stores know, and I had to let Honda Cars of Katy know, the service director there. And he said, why don't you work for me? I mean, I'm 40 years old. I can't learn something new. I'm like, I don't know anything about this stuff. Anyhow, so he said, no, you'll be really good at it, I promise. And his name's Jim Overdub. I still talk to him to this day. Anyhow,
really?
He gave me a shot. trained me, taught me everything I knew, had me trained by his best advisor. And that was 2010. Stayed there till 2011, about 11 months. Then I came over here to Gullo Toyota, which I knew these guys too. And I've been here ever since. So
Oh, that's amazing.
really interesting way to get into the business.
Yeah, absolutely. 2011, right? You go to
Yep.
work at Gullo.
Yep.
I mean, you weren't instantly a manager, were you?
Oh, no. I started out, so the service director here hired me as an assistant to the advisors, right? He told all the advisors, yeah, she's just going to come on to assist you and she'll run around and do everything. But then he told me I was a full-on advisor. So he's like, yeah, you'll be an advisor soon. So finally, one day he let me write in my own name and the rest was history. So.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
What a journey. So you can
Great.
learn new tricks. It doesn't matter how old
And
you
I
are.
didn't think you could, but I will say, ladies, if you're listening, you can do it all. I'm telling you, because I went home crying. I mean, every day I cried during training, driving home crying. I can't do this. I mean, now I have an office. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
So what happened? The crying thing, okay, because it was, new territory.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
Okay.
Computers and automotive. I didn't know anything about that. Now, my dad was a car salesman my whole life, but he kept me out of the business forever. Can I be a receptionist, Dad? No, you cannot. Now I know why.
So when you first got into that role and everybody knew it, do you have any stories on pushback?
We are passionate about helping consumers find a great, trusted place to get their car fixed. We have 4 million uniques who come to our website each month for car repair information, and we help them find our Repair Pal certified locations. We also have amazing partners like USAA that offer our Repair Pal certified network to their customers and members. So how are we going to help dealers? Well, dealers sell 100% of the cars, but over time, after the warranty expires, the repairs go up and the revenue potential goes up, but people keep leaving the dealer over time after the warranty. By years 10 or 12, only about 20% of people are still servicing at the dealer. Why is that? There's one dominant reason, and that is price perception. And being Repair Pal certified helps you overcome the primary price perception problem. So come let us show you how Repair Pal can help you too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the gentlemen that had been here forever, gonna say his name was Troy, just first name. I mean, if you can think about this, we call it Troyota. Okay, when he owned everything. Okay, so literally, so he liked me. Of course, he couldn't help it. But we were sitting one day talking, and he goes, Maxine, no offense, but we don't need you, because they already had 4 advisors, and I was the 5th. I'm like, none taken, I guess, but yeah, it's pretty offensive. We don't need you. I'm like, yeah, you kind of do. That's why they hired me. Yeah. And so, but then I ended up he left to go to another field or whatever. And I took in all his customers. He trusted me only, and he introduced them to me. And there was even a guy here that was here a year before me, a girl that was here a year before me, but he entrusted me. And, hand selected me for all of his customers that have been coming to him for years. That was pretty exciting. So I got a huge jump in client base, and of course, just kept on, with good service. That's what it's about. So, yeah.
My wife just 2 years ago retired after 32 years in the car business.
Mm-hmm.
On the office side of things, as a controller, HR.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And I mean, this woman's got some tough skin.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you only know what I'm talking. I don't even know if we can talk about it and actually air the kind of stuff that men talk to women about in automotive. But you would be an HR nightmare if you were in any other business other than automotive. Is that about right too?
No, that's about right. Yeah. You got to have really tough skin, and there's no me too around here. You just kind of, of course we conduct ourselves in a professional manner, but people are people, right? Guys are guys and girls are girls. So
yeah.
I can only imagine the juxtaposition from going from a hairdresser with 30 plus women to male dominated automotive industry in Texas.
I mean, outrageous. And what I did was I was the manager of the hairdressers. I didn't even do hair. I started out as a little receptionist, but then I ended up running the joint. So I did the business side, taught them retention and how to sell product and things like that, hired people and whatnot. So yeah, it was definitely different. The owner there was a man, as a male owner, and that was pretty cool. He was good people, but the women, but let me tell you, I hate to say this, no offense to anyone, but working with dudes is way worse. They're way more prima donnas, sorry guys, than the girls that I had. Sorry.
Well,
I would agree with that. I would agree
like-
with that. My husband is in a motorcycle club and he claims that the girls are always gossiping and stuff. I hear so much gossiping that those guys do about each other.
Yes,
I know it's terrible. So my wife, she's got like I said, she's got real thick skin. So I'm the emotional one. We're watching a movie and I'm the one crying. You know what I mean? It's like
that's awesome.
But listen, I've learned over the years, I'm not one of those high maintenance drama kind of guys. I used to be a long, long time ago. But listen, I mean, I've visited you often over the years, right? And so you have a pretty good retention rate as far as advisors and technicians too.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Absolutely.
And I know that you and I talked, and I remember, I think it was, Rick Burgess was the guy's name. He was the general manager for Fowler Toyota, and they were building a new facility. And one of the places they went to was your store.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If I remember back in the day, they visited a couple of stores.
Yeah.
And so, Maxine's store is like a go-to. I mean, it's a showcase looking store as well. But but they do a lot of things right. And they got some great numbers. And what has that journey been like? Keeping that up, and what's involved?
Well, it's really, really. I mean, that's a whole other segment, right? A whole other special. But it's really keeping up with, obviously your staff, and like you said, the retention, because we are the second highest retention store in our area, in our region, second. So
that says a lot.
One other Toyota store, but it takes a lot of work. You got to have the right people, got to do better hiring, good hiring and whatnot. And we're not perfect, but we strive every day. Every day we have goals. Every advisor has a daily goal. I mean, we're just very, very goal oriented. And I think that's what gets us there.
Yeah.
The goals. Every day we monitor everything we do every single day, every single dollar, every RO, every car that goes through here. So it's just one of those things. It's taxing though. It's very tiring.
Ongoing training with your techs and advisors and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. We just signed on to some online lessons and training. Advisor training.
Is that with Bob Charbonneau?
No.
Okay, somebody else.
Quantum 5?
No. He wanted to, but now we signed on with Chris Collins.
Okay. He's a dynamic individual.
Excellent.
I think has it already started or?
Oh yeah. We're taking it online, and all the advisors and I can monitor when they're doing it. So we're all doing it together and learning together, and it's so exciting. And the way he presents it, because he's been there, done that, it's so easy. Makes me want to be an advisor again. But yeah, we are having great results, and the ongoing training. I was the one that was doing all the ongoing, the coaching, continuous coaching, and I can only take us so far. And, Shane agreed. He said, and he told Tony Gullo, he said, I think Maxine does a great job, but she's taken us as far as she can take us. We need someone else to take us to the next level. So that's what we've done.
You have a lot of responsibilities in that position. And I do know this, like even with charity, we've had a lot of exposure because we have a lot of women in our company. I think we're at 19, or I know at least 19, if not 20, and at least half or more than half are women. And it's a big focal point in automotive. And it will be, you're going to be surprised. Charity has wowed me with the facts before, but the sheer people that actually follow, because we get some great guests, and having somebody like you, I mean, there's not a lot of service managers, and the few that are, they're not in a major metropolitan market.
Right.
Like Houston, Texas. I mean, how many, 9 million people, something like that?
Yes.
I mean, you are really, so you're with reporting and all the things that you have to do. Sometimes the advisors or even technicians, they don't really understand what it's like like you said a minute ago, you're talking about if you could only go back and be advisor with what you know now, you would slay the dragon.
Oh, yes, I would.
Right.
I've threatened my guys too. I said, I'm coming for you. They said, please, no, I'll lose all my customers. Please, no. I said,
Because
yes,
they
you
know.
will.
All right.
So it seems to me, Maxine, that you have like a way about you that you're able to climb these ladders wherever you go. Like at the hair salon, you climb it up to
I know,
management, and here at the dealership, you climb it up to management. What do you think are the qualities of somebody that is capable of doing that?
I mean, I think, and I thank God every day. I was raised very well. My parents are still together, that kind of thing. So that says a lot, just who you are, how you're raised. But that's not necessarily exactly how it is for everyone. But thankfully that for me, and confidence. I was given confidence as a child. I've always had a drive. I mean, I have one brother. We're different, different. I'm just driven. He's somewhat driven, not as much as me. Mother raising me, telling me, don't ever depend on a man. Don't ever depend on a man. I mean, she depended on my dad her whole life, still does, but,
Yeah.
but she still raised me that way. So it's just one of those things. It's just something that it's God given. It's a gift. I have the gift of gab. My mother's extremely shy, all of that stuff, but she pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. And I just feel like that's where I got it, because I'm the opposite of her. And she made sure of that, instilling. I mean, we went to church. I was raised completely right, the way you're supposed to be raised. So
Sure.
It's a lot of that, and just a lot of fight. I have a lot of fight in me. I don't know. I've always wanted to be the best. Always think I can do it better, and then want to prove it and show everyone and try to be the example. So I guess that just kind of gets me there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, Charity. And you do that real well, and you're real and authentic too.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people that are driven, but they smoke and mirrors, and they'll, gossip and try to sabotage. And,
Nope.
a rising tide raises all ships. Right. So,
That is
and
true.
I know you take really good care of your people. And I know there's times where you have to be stern and pull them up. And I'm sure when those times happen, do they know when it's that time?
Oh, yeah.
They
can tell by my face, basically. But I mean, I'm raising them too. It's one of those things. One of my advisors today, she wanted to do something that because he does it to me, I'm going to do it to him. I said, okay, but we always do the right thing. And she just looked at me and her whole body sunk. She's like, ugh. Do the right thing. But that's how you get ahead. Do the right thing. Be fair, honest. I mean, all that stuff about automotive industry is a bunch of snakes and a bunch of crooks. No, we're not. We're really not. And a lot of us do care. And I don't hire anyone that doesn't care. So it's just one of those things. You just have to,
That's great. No, really, run your own race and stay in your own lane.
Correct.
It's so easy, and I do it, and a lot of it to compare yourself to where you think you should be or where you should have been.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, well, I do too. I mean, anybody says they don't, I find that hard to believe. We're always doing some check to review. I'm like you. I'm very driven. Charity's very driven. And is there any point where you like when that really turned on? Was it because you're a female, or was it just was there something that you, or just something your dad and mom instilled in you? Where was the fire always there? You got brought up right. I did too, but I damn sure didn't stay that long.
Well, I didn't stay right. I didn't say I stayed
Oh,
right. I mean, I
okay.
all the way off the deep end. But no, I mean, I've been working since I was 15 years old. I mean, I lied to get my first job. I'm 16, whatever. No, I mean, I just have it in me. I don't know. And yes, being a woman, I want to be. I mean, when I was a kid in elementary school, I was the fastest. I beat a boy running. I just had to beat him because, he was a boy. I had to beat him. But I was right there, and, I beat him once, and I was glad, happy for that. But yeah, I've just always, as a woman, yes, I've been driven in a man's world, like they call it. I've always been driven. I don't want to do anything that you're not supposed to do. I don't want to take something, from someone that I don't deserve, but I want everything that I deserve because I've always worked hard to get there. And, and it's thankfully, thank God it's paid off, so, but hard work is the thing. Hard work, being driven, and never take your eye off the prize. That's what I do. So
it worked out real well for you.
Thankfully. Yeah. So far.
Are you going after Shade's job? I'll edit that part out.
No. He used to think that though. It's funny. He was asked by his friends when they said, who are you going to promote to be your assistant or, the service manager? And he said, Maxine. And they didn't know me, but they said, do you trust her? And he sat back and thought for a second, because yeah, I do. But then he always teased me, you're just coming for my job. You're just coming for my job. I'm like, yeah, keep eating those hamburgers, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really like where I'm at now. I like we're like a yin and yang. We go together, we always
you really complement each other well.
We really, really do. It's mom, dad, yin yang, however you want to look at it. It's the good cop, bad cop. I'm the mean one though, believe it or not. He's a big burly guy, but he's sweet compared to me. I'm, a little bit more.
Well, he could be that way after you finish with whoever you're finished with, right?
Yes. He calls me the enforcer, if you will. So
yeah, I believe that just with, maybe 15, 20 times, maybe more that we visited. And, I'm a hugger. So we always hug. And I don't know if anybody thinks. Now, you were, Max, so you're happily married for a few years now. Okay. Yes. And what is his name?
Oh, well, see, his name is Jeff Gillette. But I kept my maiden name. Matamoros is my maiden name. So
got it.
I just went back to that and he was okay with that because I've been married a time of 2 or 3 or 4. So I don't want to change my name again. And we have an ongoing joke in the dealership, the whole dealership. They call me by all my last names and they just think it's hilarious. Even the owner, Tony Gullo, gets a kick out of it. He thinks it's so funny. So anyhow, they'll type my name out and it's this long. You know how
yeah, those are all your middle past names. And you have a son, right?
I do. Yes.
And he's 31.
Yeah, he's 31. He lives in Dallas. He's a student and he's working and he's a workaholic. He kind of took a little, not even a hiatus, but he took a step down so he could get a degree. He really wants a degree. So, I back him up 100%. Really good person. I was going to say good kid. He's not a kid at all. He's actually an old man. He laughs. I said, you're so old. But Mom, what about you? But anyhow, so yeah, he's really, I've tried to raise him the way I was raised, even better, so.
No grandkids or anything like that.
Oh, no. He has a girlfriend, but no, we have no grandchildren or anything like that. Not yet. We'll see. I doubt it. They're kind of, what is that called? Free spirits, so I don't know that they're going to be.
Yeah, well, you just when you least expect it, there they come. I got 4 of them now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I see one in the background there.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've been the married thing too, but I got to tell you, watching, particularly since the pandemic, maybe it's just me because I'm focused so much on the fixed operation side of thing. I'm not really that unusual. I mean, there's certain things that I won't talk to you about, Maxine, because I don't understand. I understand a little bit, even though I ran the store. I think most general managers, probably over 80%, come from the variable side. They don't really understand the fixed side. So they depend on people like you to make sure that the numbers are in line, the financial statement looks the way it does, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
It can be really intimidating. Now, sometimes I'll talk to people and they'll check me. They'll start talking about ROs, effective labor rate and warranty and all that kind of stuff. And I know enough to keep up. And I know sometimes they check me and and I'll tell, hey, I don't understand that. But when you want to talk about marketing and you want to talk about people, that I understand.
Yes.
And it's really a good blend, I think. And
it's true.
I got to tell you, this wasn't even thinking about this podcast thing. And Charity had this idea. She's, first of all, I want to lift her up. Kudos to you, Charity, because being an executive in a very fast growing company now, we're approaching 300 stores now, Maxine.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. We're really, but she came up with this idea, WTF. I said, what the fuck? I mean, what the fixed op? Right? No, but that's what everybody thinks initially, right?
Yeah.
And we're really started to take off. We podcasts have gotten really big the last couple of years. And we have a particular notoriety. One, the name is really catchy, but 2, the guests we have are in line with the times and what's going on, really influential movers and shaker, which happen to think you are as well, but also having all the little shorts. People are so busy on these social media platforms, it's really, I can't listen the whole hour unless it's really
No.
early in the morning. But
Yeah,
when you
really.
have a title, the way Charity does this, she'll edit. I mean, bless her heart, she didn't even know what she was getting into, and she started editing.
That's for sure.
But yeah, but 22 or 20 to 24 little short segments, and they sprinkle them out all over everywhere with their own, unique 30-second to 2-minute, whatever little topic. But people just eat that up.
Mhm.
And then we thought, well, what can we do different? And we kind of found it. And part of that we'll get into in just a minute is we wanted a different kind of niche. One is that, and the other is, if you look at our podcast stuff, it's about the human journey too.
Yeah.
So, we have people on here that aren't fixed ops, and that's great. But I think people really love hearing little pieces of personal information, because we all have trials. Like you mentioned earlier, you laughed it off, and I have too. I've been married 3 times. You've been married several times. Hey, I learned a lot from that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah, here's the biggest thing I learned. It was never my fault. It was always their fault. No,
That's what I
not.
told Shane this morning. I said,
I'm not
I'm a
buying-
great wife. It's them, not me.
Right. What the hell's going on with these guys? Yeah, my picker got broke, but it really wasn't their fault. It was me, really, but anyway, so, okay. You're growing up. And most people have trials and tribulations. They went off the rails. I went way off the rails with drugs and alcohol for
Sure.
a long time, etc. And then, I think everybody has it. And I guess so you're very driven, very passionate about what you're doing. And growing up, I always had big goals and aspirations and dreams, but I didn't understand how to actually put them. I had all these dreams in my head, and this guy said, "Hey, take it from vapor and put it on paper."
Oh,
And then back into it. And, so I've learned a lot, mostly in the last 28 years of my life. Before that, it was all a blur because of the stuff I was involved with. But I never really and then I had why things weren't working. And I realized this head and this heart were broken. Anything that I needed usually always involves other people. And my son asked me, I got to share this. He said, "Dad, how do you know if you're making the right decisions?" And he said, "You always seem to make the right decisions." I said, "Well, thank you, but not. But I'll tell you, I do have a real simple formula." He said, "What is that?" I said, "Any decision we make, it involves people. Okay. Everything revolves around people. So if you're making decisions at the expense of the people around you and you benefit, it's not going to really work out. If you're making decisions and other people benefit and you benefit, it's pretty much always going to work out." Pretty simple, easy guide to, hey, because it's all about people. You can't do anything with people. So we have to be vulnerable. We have to ask. Have you had times in your life that you would feel comfortable in sharing, where you may have been vulnerable, or you were like, "Hey, this shit's got to stop. I got to take a different path. I'm at the crossroad. I'm on the cliff looking down. If I do this, I've tried every shortcut there is. Nothing's worked out. What the hell am I doing?" Do you have anything like that you could share?
I mean, what I have, the story that we were already discussing, when I turned 40, well, at that time, that was 40th birthday year. And I was in a 15-year marriage, and he was very much an addict, very mentally ill, if you will, just a very sick guy. Okay. And I stuck it out because God says he hates divorce. All right. So I stuck it out and did 15 years. And finally, at the end, and he stayed clean for quite some time. Okay. And that's not necessarily my journey, but it was because we were one, so going through that. And then I finally had to just take off. I finally had to leave. He started getting a little violent and whatnot, and I can't do that. So I got out of there. But I just turned 40, and then I lost my job. Okay. Yeah. 12 years with the salon, 12 years. Well, I co-managed with his sister-in-law, the owner's sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. So they decided to downsize. Who are they going to keep? They're going to keep the sister-in-law, right? The families. Yeah. Anyhow, of course they are. So, they let me know, look, we're going to go this direction, whatnot. Here's a severance. I'm like, no, I want double. So I got double, whatever the case. And so I took a hiatus. That was my hiatus. Okay. But that was, I mean, knock on wood, I had never been fired from a job ever, right? So it was a big deal. So I was partying, this, that, this. So I blew all my money. The story I told you before. And then I'm like, dang it, I need some money, man. So I just opened the paper. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Customer service rep. I can do that all day. And then that's when I, what I said before, that's how I got this job, basically. That was the lead in. But yeah, those were bad times. I mean, my mother had to buy me groceries. I was way low on money. I went to Discount Tire and they sold me this old used tire for $20. I didn't even have $20 on me. They just put it on my car, and then they trusted me to go somewhere and get $20 and bring it back to them. I mean, that's pretty down and out, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. For me. It was, having come from money. Me and that ex-husband, we had money and whatnot, and then going to those levels. And then not knowing what was going to happen. What am I doing? Oh, gee, I'm going to make $8 an hour as a customer service rep. Well, $8 is better than no bucks, right? And then when I became the manager, I'll give you 10. Oh, gee, wow, now I got $10 an hour, good. It's better than nothing. But then, of course, I end up, service advisor, and they make pretty good money.
I think that's great. That's I could see 15-year marriage, hanging on longer than you probably ever wanted to. With all the, I promise it'll be different this next time. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go get help, etc. Yeah. And then, I could see where that, but you didn't lose your passion or fire. You went through that whatever. And then you woke up and said, hey, I'm doing this.
Thankfully, because I was ready to give up. I just like anyone else, you get in those positions, you're like, forget it. I give up. I really was ready to give up, believe it or not. But I didn't let myself, and like you said, people that are around you, and they're not even around anymore, but people are placed in your life for different reasons at different times.
That's right.
That's why you have to look around. You got to embrace those that are embracing you right now. Doesn't mean they're forever. They're for right now, some of them, and I will tell you, there was people that got me through it one way or the other, things I wanted to do to myself, not caring, whatever the case may be. And people were there. So,
and they just loved you through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are they there anymore? No, I don't see them or talk to them, but they're still there in my heart, and I'll never forget them ever. That's part of how you end up where you are with people, just like you were saying.
It really is. Those are great testimonies and lessons. People pick up other levels of passion as a result of that.
Yeah.
And that was only really for about a year then, wasn't it? Where you were going through all that? It was a short period of time. Yeah.
Yeah, short period. Short period.
Yeah. You said, I'm over it now, baby. Let's go.
Just like that. Question about, the automotive industry in general, and then your role as a woman in the industry. Do you think that women are in a good position to kind of do what you did and go up the ladder and become leaders in the industry? And if not, is that because the automotive industry has more growing to do, or what? Tell me what you think about that.
I don't think that's the case. I think that a lot of women are different. Okay. The women that I've met, and, of course, we do have women managers in the Houston area, at least one that I know of at a big store. But the women I've met, they're just happy being where they are. They don't strive to be more. And I think maybe because they've been in the business a little bit longer and they see it as a man's world, and they don't even think that that's a possibility. I don't let any of those things get in my way. And I don't feel that, I think the industry's changed quite a bit. And I don't think that any owner, general manager would have any problems at any store with a woman if the woman is a certain kind of woman. It just has to be a certain kind of female. You have to be. But I don't think it hinders anything, not anymore. I'm sure it did in the past. Oh yeah, you sit back there, little lady, I got this. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they still do it too.
Oh, well, customers do, the older ones, but
hey, honey, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, little lady, you're so, no, but that's, it's different. It really is. I'm confident that any woman that's really driven and really wants it and is willing to work really hard for it. And, you've seen women in our industry possibly get haggard from doing it with no sleep and all this working and long hours and whatnot. they can do it. I think anybody can, but every woman that I've met so far as advisors and whatnot, they don't want to. They just don't want to. They don't want it.
More comfortable, more submissive. And it is a lot of work. It's hard to go through that kind of pressure.
Absolutely.
And we have bumped into a lot of women that have been kind of beat up about it.
Oh yeah. They look tired. I mean, not that I know.
Well, and I've been in this industry for 38 years now, and I have seen it evolve, but the fastest evolution has been since the pandemic. There's a new focal point, unlike the downturn in 08, 99, 2000. And of course, when the pandemic hit, worldwide, and service was essential, right?
Yeah.
Now it wasn't to the degree it is now, but I mean, people needed to keep moving and going down the road. But I think even with Charity and I finishing up NADA, there was more focus than even what we saw last year. Wouldn't you agree, Charity, on fixed operations and way more for fixed operations. And so I sometimes wonder, and I ask, I guess, is it just me because I live in that world all the time and talk with fixed ops people, men and women all the time, or is it something that's really happening? And it's something that's really happening. There's a trend, there's a focal point, because hey, either the service department makes all the money, or it makes the second largest a dollar amount. And it's like, right, you're right. And there's a huge, which I think is being addressed, a defection rate. After the warranty period, which is why all the Valvolines and Goodyears and Pep Boys and all those places that sprung up around there, because they're salivating, lying in wait, because they know after 3 to 4 years, and at least from what I've discovered, the two biggest defection rates are tires and oil changes. The time it takes to do oil changes, the experience while they're there, all those are relative things, but also tires. Now you can compete tires just like a discount tire. And customers are being educated, but they don't know that. And they're not even being asked that. And I know you guys are doing that. You're into the tire game, and you probably sell a lot of tires, but there's this misnomer out there that, I can get a cheaper price at discount and I don't have to wait. Well, you do, because I had staggered tires in my car and they don't have 2 of them in stock. I got to special order them. You guys can get hot shipments the same way, right? Next day or 48 hours, something like that.
Absolutely.
Electric vehicles. What is your experience? What do you think about electric vehicles? Is there a buzz at the dealership, or there was, and it's waning a little bit, like, oh my God, how are we going to make money and all this kind of stuff? Is that going on at all?
Well, I will tell you, we were actually talking with the general manager about that, and Toyota has really committed to stick to the hybrid situation. I mean, in our region, I know in California, they have
that's California. I'm sorry for all you out there.
they have the plug-in, they have the EVs, like you said, and here we're just crossing our fingers that Toyota sticks to their commitment and goes hybrid, mostly hybrid. They don't have Toyota doesn't have a big plan for fleets and fleets of electronic vehicles. They really don't. So that's where we're thinking right now. But will it affect us? I guarantee you it will. But we'll find a way. We always do. So
I think the way is the statistics I heard, the single largest purchase they're going to make during a warranty period typically is tires. And if you sell them tires and not thinking you're going to make a pile of money, because you're not.
No.
But it's the long game. What happens in the 4th and 5th and 6th years. So Charity and I did workshops at NADA, and what is the average life of vehicles? Like 14 to 16 years. And if they're coming in 2 or 3 times a year. So I think with the hybrid and the EV technology, I think a lot of people we've spoken to think it's going to be some overwhelming thing. You're looking at TV and that's all you see is EV, EV, EV. We're so far from any kind of infrastructure able to even keep up with that demands. Now you can't even find charging stations anywhere. It's ridiculous. We're in Texas, for heaven's sake. We don't do that in Texas. But anyway.
They do have them. They do have them between here and San Antonio. There's a huge one. Oh, yeah.
Is there? Well, Charity, and they just announced, even since we did NADA, they signed on to the 13 or 14 state, no more EV vehicles. No more gas-powered vehicles after 2035.
Oh, you're talking about Wyoming, like slap in the face, California.
I don't know. Yeah, tell her about that one. This is where most people don't know this.
Well, Wyoming, you know how California said we're banning the sale of all gas powered vehicles by 2035. So Wyoming's like, well, and they actually sent the bill to the governor of California, which they never do stuff like that. He's like, we're banning the sale of all EV vehicles by 2035, which is just a politics game. But I mean, it's kind of that we should have the choice to be able to do these things, not be forced into these things. And, part of the country believes that half kind of believe that, and half kind of believe, we should have the freedom to do either. So it's kind of an interesting situation. I'm in Oregon, and
that's
we're a very liberal state here.
Yes, you are.
But I mean, if you look at a map, Oregon's liberal cities are Portland and Eugene. Everywhere else is conservative. But the population doesn't represent very much. So in my little town, we have one EV charger.
That's good. Oh, wow.
For like 9,000 people. So we got one.
I mean, it's incredible. And then you think about, we talk about this stuff all the time. 3 months ago, at the end of summer, they were talking about, okay, Californians, blackouts, et cetera, brownouts, blackouts between 4 and 9 o'clock. Don't use major appliances, turn your air conditioner all the way up to 110. You can live at 110 in your house, right? And don't charge your electric vehicles. And now they're going to, it's like, okay. Anyway, that's another story. But where I was going with all of that earlier is this is a real opportunity because these non-franchise entities are not set up to really do the EV hybrid stuff. Not like a franchise dealer is equipped to, just like Discount Tire. They do a great job with tires and wiper blades. They're scared of the franchise dealers because they're getting into the tire game in a big way. And that's going to encroach because they know they're starting to figure it out. This is the long game. Well, with EVs and hybrids and the specialty of those, franchise dealers are the only ones going to be able to take care of it. So the line in wait and salivating is going to, and then we hold on to the retention part after that. I think it changes the dynamics and you make more money than you've ever made before. That's the way I see it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Maxine, do you think, let's say EV becomes this amazing opportunity. Do you think dealers are ready and positioned properly to take on that business and not let a little third party independents come in and steal that EV business from them?
I think that we will be. I think if it does become a big thing, like you said, small town, you have one, with station or whatever. So in the event that it does become a thing, we'll be ready. I know we will. We prepare for the future. Our dealership does. I don't know, but I can't speak for all the other ones, but our Toyota dealership does. So we're always forward thinking, always preparing for the future. So if it does, we'll be ready. Like Russell said, we'll find a way to make money.
Yeah, I'm sure if a horse and buggy came in, you would service it.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, you have to be, in a major city like Houston, the competition is fierce and you always got to be thinking out of the box and what's next and innovating and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of great technology out there. I happen to believe our stuff is, but technology is a great tool to accelerate something that you're already thinking about or doing, but to actually create something that you don't have, it can work against you and just cost you more time and money. So you have to be, and I know the markets you're in very well. I've been in that market for a long time with several different companies, and it's highly competitive. You got to stay on the edge. Is customer retention obviously is a big thing. What do you think about the overall customer experience? Like you have a phenomenal waiting room, you have lots of amenities and stuff like that. Do customers make comments about that? And let's face it, first of all, anybody in the waiting room, they don't want to freaking be there. They don't want to really be there. So what you guys have built is really an amazing place for, coffee and water and television and parts counter and So do you see that expanding as well?
I'm certain it will. We just, the dealership just spent a lot of money because we just recently renovated, not that many years ago, but we're going to have to do it again. And we're going to need another shop eventually. That's what's going to happen. But, you know, as we speak, we are trying to elevate the customer experience, you know, because we want to stand out. We want to be different. You know, we want to be set apart from other Toyota dealers, and we're working on that. And all the staff wholeheartedly want to do that too. So we're in the process of doing all of that. You were talking about technology. Okay. Well, Toyota has chosen our dealership to be a pilot for SmartPath. So we're about to do that. And that's about the technological customer experience, putting everything in one, you know, making it seamless. And it's like a path.
That's
We
great.
don't know a lot about it, but we're going to learn, and because we're open. You know, most dealerships aren't even close to being, you know, the technology that we use already, including your, you know, what we have going with you. And so all that's going to tie together, and I'll have more information at a later date because I've got to see it myself with my own eyes and I haven't seen it, but it's to elevate the customer's experience.
Are you excited about that?
I am. Yeah. It's going to have an updating system, things like that. You know, people want updates, and, you know, like when you have the Domino's, you ordered something, or Uber Eats, and you got the little card showing you where they are. Yeah. Well, it's similar. It's something
like, are they here
yet? Yeah, exactly. Why are they going in circles across? Yeah. But it's similar to that. So I'll have more info later, but yeah, it's just to elevate the customer's experience, to retain them even more. Like you were saying, tires is a big deal. I tell my staff all the time, I hate selling tires. I don't make any money. Yes, you do in the long run. They come to you for everything. You are their go-to person. If you sell them tires, you're married. I mean, anything, all things car is now yours, you know?
I mean,
my air lights on, my tire lights on. Okay, well, come on in. Everything.
Yeah. I think I heard statistics that 67% of people that buy tires, they're not only are they there for the long game, you know, and but they also turn around and become repeat buyers at the dealership as well.
They do.
You know,
yeah, we have a lot of that too.
That's pretty substantial. You do. I mean, the experience there.
Well, I hear that with EV. Now, I'm not an expert, although according to NAD, I am, but but I hear that, you know, with EV vehicles, the tires go super fast because they're so much heavier than a traditional gas-powered vehicle. So, I mean, there's like that big opportunity there, that those are something they're going to need constantly if we go that direction.
Right.
So, well, I want to head back to what you said earlier about kind of upgrading your facility and stuff. Doing research for that presentation, Russell and I, we saw a lot of cool things that dealerships are doing across North America. Mm-hmm. Would you do anything like movie theaters, golf simulators, restaurants, child play areas? You know what I mean?
Right, I do. At some point, I mean, dog park would be cool, you know.
Oh, that's another. I haven't heard that one yet.
Let's remember that one. Yeah.
It's real trendy right now, or it has been for quite some time. But I mean, I would be open to streaming movies. I got a suggestion from one of our other partners in business, our other vendors, and he was saying that a lot of the different dealerships will stream movies, but like AMC, you know, classic movies, not anything modern, because obviously it'd be kind of too foul for every ear, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, and that allows customers to not really feel the pain of the time that they're here somewhat. I mean, shoot, yeah, movie theaters. If Mr. Gullo is willing to spend the money, I'm willing to. But I'll do golf in here.
I mean, we're talking 5-star restaurants, nail salons.
That would be awesome.
Shoe shop. I mean, there's a plethora that not one place is doing it all, but we see a little bit of that as well. Do you do internal with the training you're doing? Do people have an opportunity to advance in your organization as well? Just kind of what you did.
Yeah, with anything and everything. Yes, we have taken valets, made them advisors. We have Toyota Express maintenance helpers that are now they've worked their way to the shop, and they're now team leaders, master diagnosticians. I mean, the top-notch technician that you could possibly be in the Toyota world. So yeah, we definitely
do you suffer turnover like some of the places around the country that Charity and I hear of with a mass shortage of advisors and technicians, or?
I wouldn't say mass, but
Okay.
I think, yeah, we have revolving chairs, a couple of them, advisor wise. I mean, you've been in this industry for so long, there's people that are jumpers.
Yeah.
They're hoppers or whatever, hoppers, jumpers, but they just jump around. They're looking for the prize. They're looking for that one place where they're going to make all this money, where, we're being taught now the lessons that we're taking. If you stick in one place, that's how you do it. You don't move around, but the grass is always greener, and they hear all this stuff and they jump around. We've had quite a few of those come through the dealership. And then technicians, they get a hair up their, and they're just kind of,
Oh, you can say it.
well, the divas are out of here, so
Yeah.
they leave, and but the right people have stayed, and that's what we want, all the right
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
I
still a
just
couple
realized-
of eggs. What's that?
You need to filter some of those out anyway.
We really do. Not everybody fits in here. Our motto is treating you like family, and we need people that will literally not dysfunctional. We need people that'll treat you like actual family that we love.
That goes Christmas family.
Clarification there, everybody.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, I
Charity?
have another question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So, we talk about, retaining people in the dealership today. But I always wonder, and we've talked to a few people that are pretty good at this, but first of all, would you recommend the automotive industry for the kids that are in high schoolish age now, whether they're male or female? And if so, how do we attract those age groups into our industry?
Great question.
Well, I mean, especially on the technical side, the technician side, absolutely. The amount of money that they can make is definitely a big seller. They make very good money, technicians do. And also the education that, companies manufacturers like Toyota is willing to give. And a lot of other manufacturers do it. I think BMW, a couple of other ones, I don't really know off the top of my head, but there's lots of ongoing education, and you're getting paid while you're going through it. I mean, that's a huge selling point. Yeah, I think there is room for it. Now, as far as advisors and things like that, you don't know how that segment's going to change, but that technicians are always going to be technicians. They're always going to be turning wrenches. They're always going to be doing, furthering their education for recalls and this and that and hybrid technology and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's a huge draw for high school kids, I think. I mean,
I can't think of any other industries where they will pay you to get the training and then pay you well after you're finished.
That's what my boss says. That's what my boss says. And he pays any technician that will go get an ASE, automatic raise. Get another ASE, automatic raise. He doesn't even mess around. And I have technicians that still won't go. I'm like, I would love to get a raise. Hello, my raise is, come on, everybody, sell more. That's my raise. I have to do more, not just go take a class.
Well, the flip side of that is, unless the statistics change, so somebody gets into college and takes on a lot of student debt, and they, get a degree or whatever at the end of 4 years, or even a 2-year associate or whatever the case may be, they come out of school heavily debt laden. 92% of them don't even work in the field they got the degree in. And they, even if they did, they won't make the money that a technician can make. Some of them won't even make money that a good advisor can make. And I'd like to ask you about the advisors.
Sure.
It's all relationships, really, more than anything. It's about communicating, like what you said, communicating with the customers, letting them know where they're at in the process, making that experience as enjoyable as possible. When somebody comes in, they have a problem. If you can't duplicate it, you can't duplicate it. I get it. And I think customers will too. If something happened and you were there and you had an appointment and the alignment machine's tied up, and somebody else got in front of you or whatever, just communicate with the customer. They know they're going to wait for some period of time, but if it goes on too long and you're not communicating, man, I'll tell you what, the tempers go up and start flaring, and that's the kind of stuff we want to stop from happening. And then I want to talk about transparency. That is the key. From the time, if it's on the lift back there, from the time they drive across the drive, understanding what their tires and alignment situation looks like, and actually, how they're presented. Now, service, I mean, new cars sell new cars, used cars sells used cars, etc. Service sells time. That's what you
Yeah.
do. It's
Yeah.
all about time. And so you have to maximize as much as possible. And I wonder, you know, well, anyway, with just what I said about transparency, I wonder why people aren't much more transparent. I think in order to change the defection, like what's happening, this is a critical part because they want to believe you,
Right.
but they don't. Just like they don't think they can get tires. Now they know they can. They don't think you can be competitive. Well, now you can. If you're in for oil change, rotate, and balance, and the rotors are scorched and the pads are gone, and you just tell them versus show them in the videos, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it really does.
You have all those practices too, don't you?
We do, yeah, and we're increasing them more and more because we do want to be very transparent. Last year talking to customers and whatnot, that was a lot of the feedback that I got. They're here with their car, but they don't trust us.
Yep.
So that, as much as they should. So they want to come here, and they even keep coming back, but there's still a level of trust that they don't have. I mean, we should have a service drive full of key tossers. Okay, just do whatever it needs. We should have more of that. We have a lot, but we need that full disclosure, transparency, whatnot. Just so we're working towards that to take away what people think about dealerships.
Yeah, that stigma. One of the things you've done recently is, if I'm not mistaken, you're with Repair Pal now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, definitely.
And
Partners with Repair Pal. Yeah, it's a really great experience too. Customers, they use it and they appreciate it. My advisors use it too. So to show
I
them.
think it just pulls out all the stops because real time what everybody else in your area is doing.
Yep.
And you don't have to, you don't have to be the most, you don't have to be the least, you can be right in the middle, whatever, and provide that valuable service.
Maxine, do you have any parting words that you'd like to share? Maybe something we missed, or whatever comes to mind that you want to share with us before we go.
I mean, not really. I kind of just want to thank you guys, both of you. It's great to meet you finally.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Russell speaks very highly of you. So, and we'll get to know each other a lot better. But
yeah,
I really appreciate y'all having me on this. If you don't know, I really love this kind of thing. I love sharing. I love talking, obviously, but anyone out there that feels like they can't do it or whatnot, or they're struggling, just make sure you can do it. And any female service managers, you need some help, you need whatnot. I'm going to put my information out there. You can call me direct for support, moral support. You want to cry, scream, whatever the case may be. But Russell did mention, we're basically a business model, if you will. Thankfully, we had the formula put in front of us by our previous director, and we've kind of just taken that and amped it up. We took it and put it on steroids. So we've taken it and ran with it, and we're tweaking it and making it as the best we can. We want to be elite. And if anybody ever needs any help out there, I am willing to talk your ear off, or you can pick my brain, I'll pick your brain, whatnot. But I'm real interested in doing that. So I can't thank y'all enough for having me on. I really can't.
Well, us, you as well. And for everybody listening, she is a good source of inspiration and motivation to tap on, particularly with women in automotive. I don't know if I have a bunch of men calling you. I just have to take another look at that one. But for all the women out there that are thinking about, or you're struggling with some of the things, the best person to talk to is another woman who's been there and that could offer you, genuine guidance and advice and suggestions instead of people that haven't been there. Be careful who you talk to, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
And what's your phone number, Maxine?
Yes. So it's 936-442-4319. That's my direct line. Text or call, and I'll call you back.
That's amazing.
Okay. No, this has been great. Do we have so here's what I want to say. Charity, thank you. Okay. Maxine, thank you. This has been really exciting, very educational. And for all you out there, listen, look her up, find her, call her if you need her. When you see this stuff come out, watch it, share it, love it, like it, make comments, whatever you do. But there's going to be a lot of these coming out, and just want to promote women in automotive. It's a real big deal. And thank you all for another very successful episode of WTF. And that's what the FixedOPS.